All right, have and have not fans. First of all, let's try to go for 250 likes on this video. I'm going to be ambitious, no pun intended, on this video. Let's go for 250 likes because hopefully this is one of those videos that kind of blow up out of nowhere. But I made a poll not even 2 days ago. I said, why did David and Katheryn sleep together? At this moment, we have 555 votes, and I'll make sure to edit the poll on the screen so you can see it. And with over 60% of the votes, because I've listed 5 different options, the winner being Katheryn's revenge since Veronica slept with her father. The other choices at 21%, they found comfort in each other from their cold spouses. 2%, they were attracted to each other. 6%, David is more caring than Jim. And then 7%, Jim was having sex with Jennifer that same night. And remember, this was on Katheryn and Jim's wedding night. So basically, their honeymoon, which I don't even know if they went on one or whatever, but David, and because if they went on a honeymoon, then why would David be around to sleep with Kat? Yeah, so many factors we don't know. But a lot of people in my video I made last week about, what did I say? David and Katheryn did what? And, you know, that was basically a video covering the Jim and Veronica and then David and Katheryn all sleeping together. And it's like, wait, why would they do that and when? There was one option I did not put on here because I did not think about it. And this goes into the whole thing about some of these statements made in the episodes about when these characters met, how they know each other, and when they slept with, you know, whoever. The one thing we don't know, at least as far as I can tell, being able to fully pinpoint into the haves and have-nots timeline, is when exactly did Veronica go into rehab for her own issues with her addictions like pain meds and, you know, drinking too much alcohol. Because given the fact that she told David that, hey, the second time me and Jim had sex, we both got, you know, so drunk that we did it. So one could possibly assume that both times that Veronica and Jim had sex took place before she went to rehab. I mean, given how Veronica, you know, Celine mentioned in the last episode that she was surprised that Veronica was drinking again. And then in episode 1, she told Hannah, oh yeah, she would have sparkling water because she doesn't drink anymore because she went into rehab. Then she came out and opened her own facility. And that's how she became a millionaire. We could somewhat assume, and this is, excuse me, this is something that I really wish I would have thought of in the poll. Katheryn most likely slept with David because, number one, she was alone on her wedding night. And if what Jim sarcastically told Katheryn is true, then Jennifer and Jim were having sex in the room or the hotel room right next to Katheryn in Jim's room on their honeymoon night. So Katheryn would feel alone. And maybe wanting revenge against Katheryn, wanting revenge against Veronica for sleeping with her father, because me and Chandler had a lengthy discussion about this last night. I said, you know what? What if? Remember at the end of episode 1 when Wyatt was looking around the Cryer mansion for some alcohol? Because, you know, obviously Jeffrey was his counsel at the time, so he was joined to him by the hip. But, you know, Wyatt snuck out of the room and then he was looking for alcohol all over the place. And he caught Candace and Jim walking out of Jim's study, so he put 2 and 2 together about their affair. What if when she was younger, Katheryn was, you know, at the Cryer mansion or whatever, and maybe this didn't happen at night, but maybe she was just walking around the mansion and she saw Veronica come out of her father's study late at night and she was able to put 2 and 2 together. That might explain how Katheryn knew about Veronica sleeping with her father. I don't know. And maybe I'll do a quick separate video about that tonight or later this week. So it would make sense that, you know, Katheryn would have some kind of reservations against Veronica even before she married Jim and whatnot. And also you look at the fact that David, let's talk about the David side of things. If Jim and Veronica really had sex a couple of times, and the second time had to do with her and Jim being drunk, this could indeed suggest that this happened before she went into rehab, meaning that as David was telling Maggie and Jim and so many others, you know, me and Veronica going through a bit of a rough patch. Pretty much him just kind of being oblivious and not being willing to admit that he and Veronica have issues in their marriage, maybe not necessarily due to cheating, you know, unbeknownst to him, but the fact that her addiction problems and whatnot, they're just a cry for help. Like, really, he was calling Veronica burning the mansion with him inside a cry for help. So maybe he was going through some issues in his marriage, and that's why, you know, he saw Katheryn alone on the wedding night, and maybe they both found comfort in each other. I know that's the second option that got the most votes, 21%, but that seems the most likely. Also, along with David being more caring than Jim, I could definitely see that. So remember that Veronica told David that we were going through some hard times in our marriage, hence why I started sleeping with William, and I was going to leave him for you because I was pregnant, but then I found him with another man. So again, we don't know the exact timetable, but it could be possible that these events took place before Jeffrey was born, but that actually contradicts what Jim told Candace in like episode 4, 5, 6, or 7. Look, I said in the wait, actually, do I have my notes from last week? Oh yeah, it was episode 4, entering the race. David's 40th birthday. That's when Candace told the apparent lie that Amanda told me, that on your 40th birthday, you got so drunk that Jim and Veronica had sex because you had passed out. And then David corrects her, saying that Veronica didn't even know Jim on my 40th birthday. So let me put it this way. That doesn't necessarily mean that Candace's story was true, that Amanda had apparently told her. Maybe Amanda told her a birthday that wasn't the 40th birthday, and then David corrected Candace. So it's like Candace intentionally gave David false evidence that he rebutted, because maybe instead of telling the truth, like, it was my 45th birthday. You know, I'm just saying. And plus, he lied about never having a drink of alcohol in his life, because we know that was retconned later. So I think that Katheryn and David probably had their moment together on the wedding night due to the fact that Katheryn was alone, feeling unloved on her wedding night. She was probably questioning why she even got with Jim Cryer to begin with. Jim probably, if she was telling the truth, had sex with Jennifer on the wedding night. Katheryn and David probably felt attracted to each other in the midst of their loneliness due to their cold spouses. Jim leaving Katheryn alone on their wedding night. Veronica probably making David feel a bit alone in their marriage, given the fact that she was possibly going through her addiction stages at that point in time. And another thing to keep in mind, we don't know if Veronica was in rehab during the time that Jim and Katheryn got married. That's another thing to keep in consideration, because I'm willing to bet that if Veronica was in rehab, then, you know, David would have went to the wedding regardless, because he and Jim were friends. So he probably felt a bit isolated because his wife was, you know, behind closed doors. And remember that that actually would leave him a bit vulnerable. And then you combine that with Katheryn's revenge, since Veronica had slept with her father in order to, you know, get, you know, for him to kind of pay her tuition through law school. So it stands to reason that all these factors combined could have led to those two sleeping together. Did it happen more than once? I don't know, but I'm just saying, you never know. So hopefully this video did a decent job of breaking it down. Maybe we'll get some insight in this week's episode. I don't know for sure, though, but it would be nice to see a David and Katheryn scene together. Also, leave your thoughts in the comment section. Was there anything that you wanted to add to my breakdown that I may have missed or I may not have considered to put in this video? But like I said before, I really want this video to get a lot of comments and likes, because this definitely seems like a great topic to break down. But yeah, with that being said, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you are new. Thank you all so much. We hit 110,000 subscribers tonight. The channel, we need about less than 250,000 views to reach 21 million views. If you want to follow me on social media, honestly, I don't know why you don't. There are links to all of that in the description box below. And finally, make sure you hit the bell notification icon. That way you don't miss out on any new content. And with that being said, I guess the last question for you, do you think there are any more secret affairs we don't know about? And let me just put it this way. As far as we know, Hannah was never married. But nah, I don't think Hannah has any secret sex escapades. Never mind, just forget it. But sheesh. Ain't no telling who else David had sex with. Maybe he did have sex with Jennifer at one point in time. Who knows?